All right, thanks, Angela. Yeah, it's time to take our periodic check here at the real estate market, see how things are doing here in San Diego. Louie Ortiz, our real estate expert with the Ortiz Group, joins us this morning. The latest numbers are out. Just your overall impression about where we're at right now.
Well, year-to-date, home sales are off just a little bit, 15.9% for detached home sales, and condo sales are down about 11.3% over last year.
That's pretty significant, though.
It is a little bit, but that's a great sign for buyers because it's a great time for buyers to get into the market. There's a little bit more inventory on the market, prices have adjusted down, and interest rates are just starting to go up a little bit. So for buyers, it's a great time to get into the market.
And this may be the time, ironically, that's kind of what I was hearing the buzz yesterday when the interest rates ratcheted up, like almost a quarter of a point. It was a big jump.
Yes.
Biggest jump in a long time.
Yes.
That actually might move some people off the fence. Oh, here comes the move upward in interest rates. I better jump in right now.
Absolutely. Times couldn't be better. We're still at historic lows for interest rates. We're approaching 7%, but there's a lot of inventory and prices have adjusted.
Still about 6 3/4 for a 30-year fix. That's the traditional mortgage that most
yes.
people start off looking at
yes.
and then work from there.
Yes.
One of the encouraging things that I saw here was it looks like the average price that homes stay on the market is about the same.
Yes.
Because we saw that number, it appeared to be deteriorating over time. And it looked like houses were staying on the market a lot longer, but it's running about 63 to 65 days, which it has been for about a year now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's only 2 months. That's not a long time on the market.
That is correct. And another really interesting statistic is that the average price of the homes has actually surprisingly gone up. And that's because a lot of people that had very expensive homes have put those on the market, and so the average price of the home has actually gone up.
And when we throw these numbers at people, there's a lot of numbers coming at them, and sometimes they may not realize exactly what they're hearing here. When we talk about the median price of a home, this is just you cut it right down the middle?
Right, right. That's the average price of the average home in San Diego
But
County.
that doesn't mean that those are the homes that are necessarily selling right now.
Correct.
So the average price of homes that are being sold right now is up in the $700,000 range.
Yes, average sales price, correct.
Average sales price.
Yes.
Okay, but that does not mean that that's what the average house costs.
Correct.
Okay, got it. The one thing that I really wanted to focus on today, and this is something that always makes me very, very nervous here in San Diego because I've been seeing it for years, literally since I was a kid. When condos first came on the scene here in San Diego, it's the big deal. This is how you get into the real estate market. If you can't afford a house, you can still afford a condo.
Yes.
But there's some pitfalls to that. There's some good things about them,
right.
but there are some pitfalls, which we really need to kind of discuss this morning.
Sure, sure. Well, condos typically, they take the brunt of the storm. Whenever there's a problem, those typically go down in value first. But I would always encourage anybody who can get into real estate in California. If you look over the long run, people have always done very well in real estate, and it's a great investment. And like I say, right now is a great time for people to get into that market.
But the tricky thing about condos is they're targeted towards people who can't afford a single detached home. That's kind of the overall market, and it works for single people and others and so forth. That having been said, are they not a little overpriced for what you get when compared to straight across to a single detached home? They're more affordable because they're cheaper,
right.
But aren't you getting a little less sometimes in terms of square footage for your dollar and so forth?
I think it's all relative. There's a lot of advantages to having condos. Some people don't like to have yard maintenance. Some people like the convenience of having a little bit tighter knit community. And there are a lot of advantages to buying condos. So I think it just depends on the...
I guess what I'm trying to get at here is I'm trying to figure out exactly why they take such a big hit when the market starts to dip a little bit. I'm surmising here that they're a little less value for your dollar, and so when the market starts to dip, they're the first ones to get hurt.
Right. Well, there's quite a few more condos in the county than there are single-family detached homes, and that might be part of it.
Really?
Just the number of inventory. Yeah. And we have seen quite a bit of changes lately. The prices have come down quite a bit in the condo market. But again, it's a really great time to get into the market.
Well, and this thing is it's so cyclical,
right,
that long term, it's like the stock market. If you stay in it long enough, you can pretty much count on it appreciating and you're not going to lose money. So
right.
who really gets stung here in this market when we're talking about home prices going down and so forth? The short-term folks that are
yes.
trying to get in and get out?
Some people have bought houses to flip them. You know, that was really quite the rage a few years ago because prices were just going up so much. Those people might get hurt a little bit because they're finding that they're having to make some price adjustments to get those homes sold. But if somebody's looking to keep that home for a while, they're going to do great in this market.
Now, have you done the math on about how long you should plan on holding a piece of real estate if you really want to be pretty sure that you're going to get your money back or better?
Sure. Well, historically, 10 years. No one has ever lost money in San Diego County real estate if they've maintained their property for 10 years. But that's quite a long time, and I think in this market, probably a couple of years would probably suffice. But again, if somebody's going to live in the home, it's always a great value to own your home. And you know, summertime in California, the first day, it's an exciting time to be in real estate.
Isn't that what you usually tell people? Is that the #1 reason to buy a home is because you want to live there?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, it's build equity and build for people's future.
All right, Louie Ortiz, thanks for the update.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks
to see
for
you.
coming. It's great.
We'll talk to you again here next quarter.
Great.
Stuff comes out again.
Appreciate
All right, 7:26. That means weather and traffic on the 6.